Hello, welcome to the Odessa College Teen Driver's Education Program. Some names you might need to know would be our Associate Dean, Luis Gonzalez, our classroom instructor, Edward Gonzalez, our driving instructors, James Guyton, Donald Harris, Dwayne Scott, and Romy Scown. Our Director of Instruction is Emily Owsley, and our customer service representative is me, Lori Norris. The state of Texas requires that students complete 14 hours of drive time, 7 hours of that in observation, and 7 hours of that in actual behind the wheel practice. Equal amounts of time will be spent driving and observing in the following areas. Before they get their learner's permit, they will be driving off street in parking lots. Then they'll move on to drive on our city streets and rural and country roads. More practice will be provided as needed by each individual student. Learner's permits. State law requires that students complete 6 hours of classroom instruction before they will be permitted to test for a learner's permit. The 6 hour occurs at the end of class time on the third day of the program, as long as the student has not missed any class time. Permit certificates will be issued at the end of class to take to the DPS office to test for a learner's permit. Students must have a learner's permit to drive on city streets. The first 3 or 4 days, students will drive only in parking lots. Once they are issued a learner's permit, students must be accompanied by a licensed driver over the age of 21 in the front passenger seat at all times. What you will need to apply for a learner's permit at the DPS office. You will need a verification of enrollment form, or a VOE. It must be obtained from the school that the student attends or from the administration office. Make sure that the name on the VOE form matches the name on the Social Security card as closely as possible. If they leave off the middle name or middle initial, that's usually okay, so long as they don't have any errors. If your student is junior or the third or has 2 middle names, make sure that that is on there and in the right order, or the DPS office may reject it. The parent must accompany the student. You will also need a driver's education certificate DE 964, which will be issued from Odessa College after the third day of class. There is a fee required for the learner's permit. If the student owns a car, you'll have to show proof of liability insurance and proof of the registration. As far as the Social Security card, they will need the original card. They will not accept a copy. And you'll need ID for a list of the acceptable ID documentation. You can find that on our website or on the DPS website. When you're applying for a driver's license, you will need to present the following documents to verify your identity: a birth certificate, valid U.S. passport or a permanent resident card. You have to have your actual original Social Security card. They will not accept a copy. And you'll need a current VOE form. Those are only good for 30 days at a time during the school year. During the summer, they will allow them to be issued in May and be good for the entire summer. In addition to verifying your identity, you will also need to be able to verify Texas residency. So you will need to provide 2 of the following documents: a current deed or mortgage or monthly mortgage statement, a mortgage payment booklet, or a rental or lease agreement. If you have rent receipts that have the name and address of the parent, that will help. Valid, unexpired Texas voter registration card, Texas motor vehicle registration or the title. The documents must contain the parent name and the address where the student and the parent both reside. Documents must be issued by 2 different companies or agencies. You can't have 2 copies of a phone bill or 2 copies of a water bill, but you can have 1 of each. There's a list of the documents on our website, or you can go to the DPS office website for a list of other documents that may be acceptable. The state of Texas uses a graduated licensing program for students. They will begin with a learner's permit and then move on to a provisional license. In order to apply for that provisional license, students must hold a learner's permit for at least 6 months after completing their program and be at least 16 years of age. You will also need a current verification of enrollment form. Again, those are good for 30 days during the school year and 90 days during the summer. You'll need your certificate of completion that will be issued 2 weeks after the end of your program. You will need to come in and sign for it, or you will need to send an email to me giving me permission to send that via postal mail. You will watch a video, the Impact Teen Drivers video, and once that's completed, you'll get a certificate for that also. And then you'll need to also bring your 30-hour practice log to show the hours that you spent driving with a parent during that 6-month waiting period. The Impact Texas Teen Drivers Program was developed by the Department of Public Safety with the goal of saving lives through awareness and education. The intent of the program is meant to educate younger new drivers in an effort to reduce the risk of being involved in automobile crashes, particularly those that are caused by distracted driving. It is a 2-hour information video that is a prerequisite to the drive skills examination being administered by the Department of Public Safety or third-party testers. The ITTD must be completed after you have received your certificate for completion of the program, and you will print out a certificate at the end of the video that you will need to take with you. Don't do it too soon because it does expire in 90 days, so I recommend waiting until right before you're ready to go down to the DPS office. Then watch the video and get your certificate. That way, if something comes up and you have to change plans or reschedule your test, it won't expire before you get a chance to go down there. Drive time is done with 2 students and the instructor at all times unless arrangements have been made with the instructor and permission is granted by the parent. Students must attend all driving sessions and make prior arrangements with the instructor if a day is to be missed or if they will be late, as this will affect not only their time but their driving partner's time as well. All drive time must be made up in order for the student to meet the minimum 14 hours required by the state of Texas in order to earn their certificate of completion. If a student fails the driving section, does not complete it, or is dropped, there is a fee to retake another 14 hours of driving instruction. No phones or electronic devices are allowed to be used in the vehicle at any time during your driving. When do I receive my Texas Driver Education Certificate from Odessa College? 2 weeks after the class ends, you can collect your certificate from the front desk of the Continuing Education Department in Gregory Williams Hall. You must pass both the classroom and the driving portion in order to receive your certificate. You will be required to pick up the certificate in person and sign for it. Either a parent or a student may do so. Certificates will not be mailed. Contact information for the Continuing Education Department. We are open Monday through Thursday from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and 8 to 1 on Fridays during the school year. Our summer hours are 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and we are closed on Friday. The number for the front desk is 335-6580. Our email address is going to be conted@odessa.edu.